So the Bronco base model Sasquatch package. What are my impressions of this vehicle? I do believe that if you are going to get a Bronco, especially a Sasquatch package, yeah, you can go with the upper trims, but I would honestly recommend to just go with the base model for a few reasons. Yes, you don't get the bells and whistles, you don't get the heated seats, you get cloth, and you don't get a leather wrapped steering wheel. But at the same time, if you go with the base model, you save a ton of money and you can add a lot of things aftermarket yourself. The best package to get for the Bronco, if you do like creature comforts, is the Big Ben with the 22A, I believe, mid package. So that gives you vinyl seats, it gives you heated seats, dual climate, leather steering wheel, and there's a lot of features in that package that make it almost like it's in the upper echelon of trims, and I would definitely recommend going that route if you care about all the creature comforts. In my opinion, especially if you're just mainly using this as a daily driver, there's really no need to go into the more expensive trims, because you're going to get a lot of capability that you're not actually going to use, and therefore these vehicles in the lower trims just make more sense. So how does the car actually drive day to day? One of the things I really like is specifically with the two-door, because my wife has the four-door Bronco, is the two-door is extremely nimble. The way that it can take in a corner very effortlessly. There's surprisingly low amounts of body roll. I don't know if that has to do with such a wide suspension and tire track, and it handles very well. You can make quick maneuvers need be, and you can easily have fun in the corners with a vehicle this size, which may be hard to believe. The manual transmission does really add a lot of spice to your daily commute. The throws are long, as you can see. Downshifting and rev matching is pretty simple. The pedals are placed in a fantastic place so that you can just quickly downshift need be, and you can be on your way. Another thing that is absolutely not talked about enough is how potent this 2.3 turbo is. 300 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque is it's nothing to scoff at. It's definitely no slouch. The gears are short when you get with the Sasquatch package, which makes you being in the power band a lot more frequent, and it's a lot more fun. Second gear in this car is an absolute riot, takes you to around 92 kilometers an hour, and it really does halt. It also sounds pretty good out the box. I know that there's pumped in audio through the speakers, but the turbo noises are there, and when you do remove the roof and the doors, the turbo is very noisy even without an aftermarket intake. Another thing that I do like is the ergonomics of this vehicle are very handy. As you can see, my hand, I'm a classic manual driver. I could always keep my hand on the shifter. Everything is within reach. It's so refreshing to see in 2026 that you got buttons for everything. Even on the higher trims, you still get buttons. They have this nice tactile rubber feel, which you can feel the notches when you turn the volume up or change the climate. Everything is very straightforward. You got your GOAT modes here, which give you a range of different drive modes you can actually drive with on the street as well. You got your cruise control. The sound system in this car is a bit mediocre. I didn't expect anything to be that unbelievable, in my opinion, just due to the fact that it is a box-shaped vehicle. I have heard in higher trims the upgraded sound system, and it's really nothing special. It's a loud vehicle. For 2025, they did add this felt kind of texture on the roof to add with sound deadening, which definitely helped with the overall noise and NVH that's transferred to the driver as you're driving. The suspension in this car, as we go over those bumps, very compliant. It's not punishing in any shape, way, or form. It's very smooth. You can easily take long trips in this vehicle, no problem. And the thing that makes it so effortless is the torque comes on so low in the RPM that you can just cruise comfortably and still have more than enough passing power. Another thing that I really do like about the vehicle is just the overall feel while you're driving. It has this very vertical windshield, which a lot of Jeep people are familiar with. It adds a bit of feeder to every driving experience because it does feel like you are absolutely driving a tank. And this vehicle, with the Sasquatch package, specifically on the base, it gives it 3 inches of lift over a base without the Sasquatch package. So I didn't option it with steps, as you guys see, and it is quite difficult to get in if you're an older person or any kind of situation where you need to get in and you're in dress shoes or a suit. It can be a little difficult, but at the same time, it's nothing that you couldn't manage on a day-to-day. To me, having no steps just really dramatizes how big the vehicle is, and pretty much that's about it on that regard. What we have done to this vehicle to make it a bit more unique, as you can see, I added the carbon fiber and code orange trim throughout the interior to kind of add some life to it. I added some aux beam dual 4 by 2.5 inch hood lights and sights so that I have extra visibility, and I mainly just love the look of it with the orange DRL, especially at night. And if you guys saw my recent videos, we added the Bronco Raptor style taillights, which completely transformed the rear end from the base halogen ugly model taillights that Ford options these things with, unless you go with the higher trims. Number one thing, one regret that I have with the vehicle, and I know this is gonna sound crazy because, as you guys know, I absolutely love my manual transmissions, but I genuinely am a firm believer now that manual transmissions are simply just better in sports cars. And when it comes to everyday vehicles, I think you should just get the automatic. Now let me explain why. If you're mindlessly driving and you're in a sports car, typically if you leave the car in second when you're at a light, this is not a good thing for the car, by the way, but sometimes it happens. You can still take off easily. Whereas with these cars, more everyday cars, and I'm not saying this Bronco is underpowered by any stretch of the imagination, it typically will stall out if you try to take off in anything but first gear. So that's just a quirk that I have that I'm not particularly a fan of. Obviously that's very, very minuscule in the grand scheme of things, and I shouldn't realistically be leaving in anything but first gear. So that being said, another thing that I actually don't like about the vehicle is this manual transmission. The throws are long, which is fine, but they feel very rubbery, and that's probably to be expected. It's an off-road vehicle. I could fix that situation with a short shifter, but I just don't like the slop that's in the gear shift, and it's very evident in every maneuver that you do. Also, the clutch has a really, really high bite point, and there is rev hang, so this car does not like to be driven super fast unless you're really riding the clutch in between gear shifts if you're going wide open throttle. So besides from that, would I still get the manual again? I'm torn. There are times when I'm doing spirited driving in this vehicle and the manual transmission is an absolute blast. And there's other times where I am cursing this manual transmission, for example, in situations like this when I'm just on my way to work. The 10 speed is very good, but if you're a manual person, I think we can rejoice in the fact that they're still offering a manual transmission in a vehicle like this. As you can see, in Canada here, it is horrible weather. For the past couple of weeks, it's ranged anywhere between -15 to -25 Celsius. I constantly wonder why I live here. Right now, today, it's -5. It snowed a lot last night. This vehicle is unbelievably good in the snow. Like, words cannot express how good this is. I have driven trucks my entire life, and this is hands down 10 times better than any half-ton truck that you can get for winter duties. When everyone's going slow, 40 kilometers an hour, which is like 25 miles an hour for my American friends over there, and meanwhile the speed limit is somewhere between 40 miles an hour and 60 to 70 kilometers an hour, you can go full tilt in this thing and it will still stop on a dime. The tires are fantastic. The braking is fantastic. There's a lot of weight in the vehicle so that it maneuvers really well in the snow and it stops on a dime. And it is an absolute beast in the winter. If you are getting one of these for your daily driver in the winter, you will not be disappointed. There's very few things on the market that can compare to the level of handling and confidence you have in the Bronco when it comes to winter driving. Now, another thing, this vehicle, my wife has the 4-door Bronco. We did the 4-inch lift in the 35s. Longtime viewers of my channel will know that vehicle. It's a lot heavier than this. Obviously, it has extra doors. It has a bigger lift kit, everything. And this would absolutely blow the doors off that vehicle. It's the same engine, and yet I believe there's almost like 1,000 pounds of weight difference. This thing actually legitimately moves, and it's not just quick 0 to 60 power. Like if you're on the highway, you got very good passing power in this vehicle. Another thing that I really do like is obviously the looks. Like this Bronco looks awesome out the box with the Sasquatch package. They do a really good job on these vehicles. And for a base model, you have digital gauges, you have a 12-inch infotainment system. It's pretty good. Like, what more can you really ask for? Cloth seats are super comfortable. The different drive modes in this car you can genuinely feel a difference, and it's not just throttle response. I find that it just picks up nicer, and some modes definitely feel faster, whether they actually are or not. Eco mode is useless. You're still gonna burn through kilometers, miles, just the same as if you're going normal. This Bronco does like to be in 6th gear often to maximize fuel economy, so no, if you're not a person that typically shifts into 6th gear often, know that. And this vehicle does not have rev matching, which honestly isn't an issue. It's super easy to rev match this vehicle. The throttle is responsive, as you can hear. Honestly, I genuinely think that this vehicle, I would rate it a swift 7.5 out of 10. Now, that's a pretty good rating, but could I see myself with it long term? I'm sure as time goes on, I will grow to eventually love this vehicle. Part of me just ultimately really wants a V8 as a daily, and I'm not saying get another Mustang, even though that would be really sick. What I'm thinking for the next build, and 9 times out of 10, this is probably what's going to happen. I want to get an F-150 XL base model, single cab with a short box, Coyote, and I want to go to town with that. I want to make a legitimately fast street truck. I think that would be super sick, especially you may not get as good of winter capabilities in that like you do in this, but still plenty good to do winter duties. It's 4x4, and I was gonna either completely all black it out or all white it out, exhaust, tune, headers, maybe even a centrifugal down the line, but I'd rather boost my Mustang before boosting a F-150. So yeah, those are my thoughts on my in-driving of this vehicle. So would I say get one? I told you the premises on which I think that you should get one, but I would have to say look at your options as well. But we'll end on a little acceleration. It's pretty good.